What if the shape of your jaw is not something you were simply born with by chance, but a signal passed down from a face that existed long before history had a name? Somewhere, in the cold dark of a world without fire that never went out, there was a human being whose jaw helped them survive, and that same bone structure may still be sitting quietly on your face right now. This is History TimeRift, and tonight, we are not looking at ancient ruins. We are looking at you, because your jawline is not just bone. It is a record written in tension, in chewing, in survival, in fear, in mating, and in the slow bending of the human skeleton across hundreds of thousands of years. And the strangest part is, scientists who study ancient skulls say the human jaw has changed more dramatically than almost any other part of our body, not because of beauty, not because of fashion, but because of what our ancestors had to do to stay alive. Let's go back, far back, long before spoons, long before fire was guaranteed, long before food was soft. Imagine a human ancestor sitting near a small flickering flame, tearing at raw meat with their teeth, grinding tough roots for hours just to get enough energy to survive the night. Every bite was work, every meal was labor, and that labor shaped the bones of the face. Archaeologists have found that early human jaws were massive, thick, heavy, built like tools, not because ancient humans wanted strong jaws, but because a weak jaw back then could mean starvation. A jaw had to crush bone, tear tendon, grind fiber. There was no mercy in that world for a fragile face. But here is where the story becomes darker. As humans slowly learned to control fire, as cooking became part of survival, something happened to the human skull that changed our species forever. Cooked food is soft. Cooked food is easy to chew. And when a species no longer needs brute force to eat, something ancient begins to fade. Researchers suggest that as cooking spread through early human groups, the pressure that once demanded a heavy, powerful jaw slowly disappeared. Bones do not lie. Bones respond to pressure. And when the pressure of survival changed, the human jaw began to shrink. This is one of the biggest secrets hidden in your own face. Your jawline may not just reflect your personal genetics. It may reflect a distant transition your ancestors lived through, the moment humanity moved from raw survival to controlled fire. But that is only the first layer of the mystery, because jaws did not just shrink from cooking. They were shaped by something even more emotional, something connected to fear, aggression, and the earliest formation of human communities. Some scientists believe that a stronger, wider jaw was linked to higher levels of testosterone in ancient humans. In the harsh world of early survival, physical dominance mattered. A heavier jaw could signal strength, aggression, and the ability to fight for food, territory, or a mate. But as human groups began living closer together, as cooperation became more valuable than raw aggression, something remarkable happened. Some researchers propose that humans with lower aggression and more cooperative behavior had a survival advantage. Communities were safer when violence decreased. And with that shift, some scientists suggest that facial structure softened over generations, moving toward more rounded, less heavy features. This idea is sometimes called self-domestication, not because humans were tamed by another species, but because humans may have shaped themselves generation after generation by rewarding calmer, safer, more cooperative faces with better chances of survival and reproduction. And this may still be hidden inside you today. If your jaw is strong and angular, some researchers link this to hormonal patterns and ancestral lineages, where physical strength once meant survival. If your jaw is softer, narrower, more refined, it may connect to branches of humanity where cooperation, social bonding, and community life became the greater survival tool. Neither is better, neither is weaker. They are simply different survival stories written in bone. But the clue most people ignore is this: your jaw did not evolve alone. It evolved next to your brain, your eyes, your voice, your entire skull. And ancient humans were not one single template. They were many different bloodlines, spread across freezing tundras, dense forests, dry deserts, and unstable coastlines, all shaping the human face in different directions depending on how they had to survive. This is where the story becomes even more personal, because certain ancient jaw structures may still trace back to specific ancestral branches of the human family tree. Some researchers who study ancient DNA and skeletal remains suggest that Neanderthal populations, who lived through extreme cold in Ice Age Europe, developed heavier facial bone structures suited for enduring harsh climates and forceful biting. And evidence points to interbreeding between early modern humans and Neanderthals, meaning some people alive today may carry small traces of Neanderthal DNA. Traces that could be linked to subtle facial and jaw characteristics passed down across tens of thousands of years. Imagine that. A cold cave, a fire barely surviving the wind, a Neanderthal ancestor with a strong, heavy jaw chewing through frozen meat just to make it through winter. Thousands of years later, a fragment of that survival story may still exist quietly in someone's face today without them ever knowing why. This is not fantasy. This is inherited biology, shaped by real ancestral pressure, still echoing through modern human variation. But there is another layer to this mystery, one connected to identity, belonging, and even ancient beauty standards. In many ancient cultures, jaw structure was tied to status and reputation. Archaeological evidence suggests that in some ancient societies, a strong jaw was associated with leadership, protection, and physical capability. A person with a powerful jaw might have been seen as a natural provider or protector. Meanwhile, other cultures valued softer, more delicate facial features as signs of youth, gentleness, or social refinement. This means your jaw may not only carry a survival story, it may also carry an ancient social story. A story about how your ancestors were seen, valued, or chosen by their communities. And here is something deeply emotional to consider. Every jawline alive today exists because it survived. Every ancestor whose face shaped your face lived through hunger, cold nights, migration, disease, and danger. If even one of them had died before passing down their bloodline, your face would not exist the way it does now. Your jaw is proof of an unbroken chain of survival stretching back further than written history, further than agriculture, further than villages, further than fire itself becoming permanent. Some scientists believe that as human migration spread our species from Africa into different climates around the world, jaw and facial structures slowly adapted to environmental pressures, from cold-resistant traits in northern populations to other variations shaped by diet and climate elsewhere. This is one reason human faces look so different across the globe today. Not because one form is better, but because ancient humans adapted differently depending on where survival demanded change. This means the jaw you see in the mirror is a map. A quiet biological map connecting you to ancient hunters, ancient firelight, ancient migrations, and ancient fears that shaped the human species long before anyone wrote a single word of history. And that leads to the final haunting thought. You may never know exactly which ancient bloodline shaped your face. You may never know if your jaw echoes a Neanderthal hunter surviving an Ice Age winter or an early human ancestor whose calm nature helped their community survive by cooperation instead of conflict. But the truth remains the same. Somewhere far back in time, a face like yours helped a family survive long enough to continue existing. So the next time you look in the mirror, remember this. Your jawline is not random. It is inherited memory, written in bone, shaped by hunger, fear, migration, and survival. It is a quiet message from ancestors who never saw the modern world, yet somehow, through you, they are still here. They lived, they struggled, they endured, and their story did not end with them. It continues every single day in the face you carry into the world.